We're James and Holly, and for over 10 years we've both been spending all of our hard-earned money on travel, but things are about to change.
We bought a house!
And the house we have bought is a doer-upper, so we've got to do everything in the house, and we've never done anything quite like this before, so we're complete novices. Welcome to our new adventure.
Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 6 of the house renovation series.
Before we get too far into this video, we want to ask you a question, and that is, do you know anything about smart home stuff? Because we would love to create this house into a smart house, from smart bulbs to smart switches to infrared panels to do our heating, electric underfloor heating. Basically, we want to be lazy and control everything off of our phones. If you've got any advice on smart home stuff, please let us know in the comment section down below.
Anyway, getting back to this video, you will see that it goes from bad to worse for James.
So a couple episodes ago, we spoke about getting rid of all of the tanks which are up in the attic because obviously we've ripped out all of the plumbing and we don't basically need any of these tanks up here. Me and Toby have now got the challenge of basically getting rid of one of these big tanks right here, but it won't fit through the actual the joist in the ceiling. As you can see right through here now, because obviously I've taken the ceiling off down below. This won't drop through, so we have to basically get the water out of this tank to basically get it through the hatch here, but it has to be flipped up, and this is like a quarter filled with water. Toby's gonna stay up in the attic. Brilliant. And he's gonna pour the water through there to me, who's gonna be stood underneath with a bucket. Right, this could go terribly right or terribly wrong. Oh, this water is minging. Ah! Oh, it's coming out! The overflow pipe!
Oh shit.
That went right in my face.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, that was the most disgusting brown, rusted water.
Oh, I might have wasted That's 99% of it.
And just so you can see how minging the water is, look at that. It is absolutely disgusting, and that just poured all over my face. So you think... No, that's not going through there, surely. You're gonna have to take the ladder off.
I might have to take the hatch off.
Got it? Yeah!
Yeah.
Got it. So the next one is a big lead box which weighs an absolute ton. Luckily there's no water in this one, but it's like very heavy. And I don't know how we're gonna do this. Whoa, shit, the bed, that's heavy. I've got it on my head.
Hey?
I've got it on my head.
I need to get down this ladder.
I feel like I'm getting shorter by the minute.
I can't get through.
You need to get through.
I'm actually stuck now myself.
Are you actually?
I'm actually stuck.
Oh,
Sorry mate, I'm actually stuck.
Oh, I can't lift it up.
Sorry, I'm coming. I'm coming the wrong way.
Don't fall.
Oh, jeez.
I'm literally dying over here. Right, got it?
Yeah, as much as I can.
My arm is like wedged here.
I can't lift it up. Right, we're good.
Whoa. Right, you take that side, that corner.
Got it.
The battery decided to die in my camera whilst me and Toby were at that pinnacle moment holding this above our heads, but as you can see it is now down out of the attic, and yes, it does weigh an absolute flipping ton. It's basically a lead box inside of this chipboard box as well, so it's super heavy and it was super awkward getting it down, but we got it down, and now I feel like this is going to be a permanent feature in the middle of the room because I don't want to take it down the rest of the stairs. But it's kind of like a table, a little bit of a loppy table.
So because this was 2 rooms, this beam was half painted brown and the other half was just wood. So because we're trying to like modernise the place, but we don't want to lose all of the character, we're going to try and keep the beam and take it back to the original wood. But it's proving a lot more difficult than I thought, because not only is there brown paint, then there's white paint, then there's more brown paint, and another layer of white paint before you get to the wood. So it's taking me a long time. So because there's so many layers of paint, sanding just won't touch it. So we're using paint stripper for each layer. So we'll paint some on and then scrape it off and do that each time until it's the final layer, and then we can just sand it.
So I probably shouldn't say this, but I feel like the worst is kind of over in the house now. We've obviously ripped so much stuff out of the house, and we can hopefully now start turning it back into an actual house with walls, real life walls, so we don't actually do what I just did and keep walking through the walls. So today, my plan is to start the plasterboarding and basically get the plasterboard up onto the wall of the main bedroom, because me and Holly want to have a flipping bedroom that we're just kind of making up as we go along, because we're not professionals. So don't take any advice off of us, because we're obviously not the right people to get advice from. We're going to be putting plasterboard on this wall today, and to make it a little bit easier, I've gone round the door frame here and I've added some extra wood from this side and this side as well. So when we put the plasterboard on, there's something to basically screw the plasterboard into, because this obviously wasn't here, so there would be nothing to put the plasterboard on. This section here, this is where we're going to have our light switch and possibly a thermostat. So we're going to leave that a little bit empty at the moment, because we haven't chose the right lights and what thermostat and all that sort of stuff at the moment. So we're basically going to be putting plasterboard on up to this point. That's the plan. Holly, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. So first thing we're going to do is to put the plasterboard up here and cut around the beam, just to make it easy for ourselves. And I've just measured out the beam, which is this bit here, and to make it nice and easy and fun, the beam isn't at a perfect 90-degree angle. It's actually got a slight twist in it. So to do that, I'm using this nice long metal level and a Stanley knife, a nice brand new blade as well. So once you've scored it a few times, lift the board up, put the level under, and then it snaps. Look at that, perfect. You help me lift it up now. Get the Stanley knife, cut down the back.
Oh, hooray!
Like a glove. And just make sure that without the string being
Perfect.
perfectly level.
Perfectly level.
Okay, take the level away. Got it. So to have a little break from doing the plasterboard, and as you can see, we've actually got half a wall done over there at the moment. We've still got to do this side, but anyway, a little break from that, and to catch you guys up on something which we've been kind of thinking about for a little while, and that is this wall right here. When we first came into the house, we obviously tore all of the tiles and stuff off of this wall. This was the old bathroom. We repointed this wall because we were going to then just cover it with plasterboard. The more we look at the brickwork, the more we're kind of liking the brickwork. A couple of weeks ago, we were at IFA, we were filming for Philips TV, and they had a really cool demo model of their brand new TV. We're thinking, well, this is going to be where our TV is going to go, so we're now thinking that we might keep this brickwork painted white. So that's kind of one thing what we're thinking, and it saves me plasterboarding that wall. But because all this brickwork is so bad back here, I'm thinking it might be easier to actually plasterboard this around and get it all skimmed over nice. So this will be covered up. This brickwork might possibly be staying and painted white. This is the plasterboard what we've just done. Holly's just put a spanner in the works and said about keeping the brickwork in this room as well.
At least I said it before you plasterboarded it.
Yes, I'm glad you did say it before, but we still wanted to paint this that bluey colour, which was those sample colours we showed you a couple of videos ago. Okay, that is a lot bluer than I thought it was going to be, Holly.
It might dry a different colour.
And weirdly, it looks a completely different colour on camera than it does in real life.
Yeah, it...
It's a deceiving colour. You You know, I started this video off by saying I feel like the worst of the mess is over in the house. We can start to make it look like an actual house by putting all the plasterboard on. Well, the plasterboard is on and looks great in this room. The next thing we were going to do is to put plasterboard over the ceiling to cover up the ceiling, because obviously it doesn't look very nice and it saves us tearing it down. If I put the level onto the ceiling now, the ceiling is really not very level. I can literally get my finger in between this gap here. It's kind of like wavy all the way through this ceiling. So if we put plasterboard on, it's either going to have to follow that wave or it's not going to be connected to the actual ceiling at certain points, which we obviously don't want. If we put plasterboard on and I put screws along here, it's just going to be held up by this current ceiling, which is already kind of fallen down. Now I'm kind of thinking that I'm gonna have to tear the ceiling down in this room as well.